Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another HD broadcast, and this is going to be the continuation cast of the TL Open number 2 tournament. And I already finished semifinal A. If you guys haven't seen it yet, pause this game, stop it, go back and watch it. I think the game was between, who was it? Laylish versus Og or Arg or something like that. I always forget that guy's name. I think it's Ag. But make sure you watch it because I'll be spoiling that game. This is semifinal B, and the winner of this game will play the winner of semifinal A. So if you guys are still watching, then yes, that's right. Laylish did win the last semifinal series, and he is in the finals of TL Open number 2. And so whoever wins this game right here will go on to play him. Now it is going to be Select, who is, whoa, what? He's playing Protoss. This is a little weird. Okay. Oh, okay. So I think, I think he's just kind of trying to trick his opponent. He said like, I'm gonna go, his opponent's like, are you going 4 warp gate against me? Select says, I win, blah, 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 blah. I knew I saw some kind of chat in the beginning. I didn't actually read it when the game was going on, so I thought I'd look at that. But apparently Select is going to be playing Protoss this game, and we all know Select he plays Terran typically. So this is a very strange situation where he kind of switched up his race. And I don't know. I mean, this map is actually really good for Protoss versus Zerg, so maybe Select has a trick up his sleeve. I think actually 4-gate, which coincidentally the players were talking about earlier, 4-gate is very powerful on this map. It is almost impossible to stop. Select says, are you 6-pulling? No, he's not. So I thought maybe there was a 6-pull coming, but yeah, 4-gate is extremely difficult to stop on this map. Nice pylon right there, gonna stop the hatchery as well for his opponent Zerg, because this map has such a 180-degree radius towards the natural. I've actually played Protosses on this map, and I almost feel like expanding is impossible against Protoss who try to go 4-gate. But it doesn't really look like that's going to be the case. Select here has gone for a forge. He's got a couple pylons down. He might actually try to get the pylon cannon wall in right at that ramp just to contain the Zerg player. So we'll see if that's what Select tries to do. Now let's go ahead and talk about the Zerg. I actually had to rehearse this guy's name in the last couple of minutes before this game started, and I've decided just to call this guy Sjow. I can't say his name unfortunately, and his name's not Dignitas. I think that's his clan name. So I'm just gonna call the guy Sjow. If I call it wrong, I'm sorry. I've never casted a game of this guy Sjow before. So maybe somebody out there can tell me how you actually pronounce this guy's name. But, oh, I also have to say, in the last couple of games I forgot to put my pop filter on the microphone. So I know there's like a pop, pop, pop whenever I said P or anything loud. So I do apologize for that. But the pop filter is back on now. And so, yeah, it looks like Select is going to be going for a Nexus first. He's going to be going for a very fast expansion. And, I mean, we saw in the last game with Laylish versus Ag, Laylish was able to really stop Ag. Ag tried to go for that fast econ build, tried to go for the early Nexus, but it just didn't work out because the Zerg player was able to econ, he was able to get map control. This game already starting off just a little bit different. Select throwing down this pylon, forces Sjow to actually get a hatchery way off course. He's gotten this all the way down at the 3 o'clock location. So really throwing the Zerg player off by not allowing him to get the natural where he wants to. But at the same time, he could be, this hatchery is very sneaky. And if Select doesn't scout it, which, I don't think he will, then that could be a very big boon to Sjow if he can get that hatchery up. Oh, nice pick off with the Zergling, killing off that probe as well. As the cannons are warping in. Now, like I said, if this hatchery can get up and he can keep it hidden, that's one huge thing in favor of Sjow, because Select will be thinking that he's playing against a 1-base Zerg when in actuality, he is playing against a 2-base Zerg. Now, if we look at the production tab, we can see that Sjow is getting, or just look at the map, he has got a roach warren down, so he will be getting some roaches out, I would imagine. He's getting his natural expansion up right now, so he is really going to be sneaky with these 2 expansions, and this can be tricky. This can be tough for Select. If Select doesn't scout this expansion out and he just sees this one, he's going to assume that the Zerg player kind of got a late natural, but he's not going to know about this 3rd, and that could really bite him in the butt. Although he is sending this probe, Very good scouting by Select. Even when he plays Protoss, even when he plays off-race, it doesn't matter. He's a good StarCraft 2 player no matter what, and he is going to get this scouting SCV. No, he actually changed his position. Oh, no. He actually had it rally right over the hatchery, and then he decided to change the rally point and just go manually control it. So Select makes me eat my own words. I thought he was a really pro gamer, but no, he's not. I'm just kidding. He's going to miss the hatchery, which is a bit of a blunder, but you can't really blame him. He doesn't really have any clue whatsoever it's there. There was nothing telltale to say that it was. And now he is going to be chrono boosting weapons level 1. If we look at the income, Protoss player way ahead. And that's of course because the Zerg just now got his natural up. He's only barely started mining at the 3rd, so effectively he's been on 1 base this entire time. So the Protoss Select really has a huge economic advantage this game. And he's going to have a lot of forces coming out soon once this economy really turns over into actual army units. He's getting a bunch of gateways, +1, nearing completion. He's going to have 3 gateways down. Zerg player just now starting to catch up in economy, 31 under 41. One nice thing though I gotta say about getting this hidden hatchery here, it's still mining, it's still hidden here. The Protoss Select has no idea about it, but one clever thing about this is it really makes, it really mitigates the problem with this map when you play Zerg, and that's that, you know, you can't break, it's so easy for the Protoss player to break the natural down. But in this case, I mean, if you lose the natural, no big loss, because Sjow got that expansion up over here mining now. So at this point in the game, I still a very crucial function, the fact that this hatchery is kind of hidden here. Select has no idea it's up. This is really going to hurt Select as this game continues to move forward. If he doesn't strike that hatchery, or if he doesn't get a quick 3rd expansion up. He's got 5 gateways running right now, and he still hasn't revealed his tech. There we go, 1 robotics facility. So he's just going to be playing mass gateway at this point. Going to get as many gateway units as he can. Presumably going to use the robotics for observer and then immortals, because right now Sjow, I believe, is just focusing primarily on roach technology, and he's just now getting the layer up. So you guys can see that he really has not been teching whatsoever this entire game. The Zerg player has been focusing entirely on economy, and as a result he's been able to keep up with the Protoss and his fast expand build. He's just now barely behind the Protoss in terms of harvester count, but Select will be moving out. Now, this is very difficult for the Zerg to stop, but thankfully Sjow has spread his creep out very well. Look at this creep spread. He's about to connect the middle of the base to his 3rd expansion, and that's of course going to allow him to reinforce and support that 3rd base so easily. Now, if we look at the food, 90 food for the Zerg player, 98 for the Protoss. So Select still has that advantage. He has +1 weapons. I think he's nearing completion. No, he's not yet close on the +1 armor, but he is pushing forward, venturing onto Zerg creep. This is where Protoss players have to be extremely careful. They have to stay next to the walls. Typically, Protoss want to engage on Zelnaga Watchtower here or here, where the chokes are favorable to a Protoss player. You don't want to allow your forces to get surrounded, and Sjow has a lot of speedlings. That's a lot of potential damage if those speedlings get a good surround off. 10 Hydralisks also on the way for Sjow. He's really looking good with this 3rd hatchery mining right now. He's really not producing any more harvesters though. I think this push out might have been just forcing Sjow to produce a bunch of attack units rather than producing income. So Sjow has now fallen behind in income. No, the force field's not blocking off the speedlings. Speedlings are too fast. Nice try for Select. But that's kind of showing that, you know, he's not a Protoss player by default. He's a Terran player, and he doesn't really know. He's kind of making a little bit of mistakes here and there, throwing cannons because he fears the possibility of mutas, but there aren't any mutas on the map. He really needs to get more observers out. He only has 1 to scout with, but he's gonna push forward regardless, going on enemy creep. I think the Zerg might have more food right now, 132, 134, so it's just behind by 2. Sjow needs to be careful when he engages. Great force fields by Select, blocking off all the roaches and hydras and lings. Only a couple of hydras able to attack, and Select decides to fall back. He should take off these forces in the front though before the force fields wear off. No, he's gonna fall back, and uh-oh, this is a lot of attacking units. Hydralisk with that great range upgrade, which I believe Sjow has. No, he had almost finishing right now. It's gonna push the Protoss army back. Select in a lot of trouble, forced to fall back. He doesn't realize he's facing off against a Zerg with a 3rd expansion. I don't even think he realizes. No, he does not. That is Select's vision. His observer has never even scouted that location. And poor play by Select. I would imagine any pro gamer in any situation would move a unit over to scout all the mining bases, but unfortunately Select has not. He's been sitting contempt in his base. He's only got one observer out, and that is really biting him right now. At this point in the game, the Zerg player is way ahead. Zerg player at 143, Protoss player at 136. Maybe not way ahead, but is ahead for sure. Select is going to attempt to rectify that by getting his Nexus down. And I have to say, if Select if I was Select, I would probably be scratching my head right now wondering how the heck is the Zerg player got so many units? This is impossible. So I think Select might be wondering what the heck is going on. But he is going to try to rectify that by getting this gold expansion. But at the same time, Sjow pushing forward. He has so many speedlings. It's just going to take out this Nexus so easily. Luckily, Select has some Colossi. They are doing very good damage. Good force fields as well. But the Nexus gets sniped out by the speedlings. There's just too many. And now they're going to go for the surround force fields, blocking off the Zerglings just in time, pushing them away, using the laws of Protoss physics against the Zerglings. And Select, with good micro, should be able to hold on to this. It's going to be close. Thankfully for him, he does out-upgrade his opponent with that extra weapons upgrade, and he is going to force the Zerg player to fall back. But in that assault, Sjow was able to take out the Nexus at the gold, and that was a huge pickup for the Zerg player. Select realizes that he is facing off against a Zerg unlike any other. Perhaps after this game, he might just switch back to playing Terran, because he might be scratching his head, like I said, saying, how does Zerg produce so many units? I didn't know it was possible. But he still hasn't scouted out the fact that Sjow has that gold expansion. And at this point, I would say, yeah, Select is definitely running low on minerals at the main. He's got 78 harvesters, though, compared to Sjow's 47. But as you guys can see, no matter the harvester count difference, Sjow, with that extra hatchery, is evening out with the enemy Protoss in terms of income. Sjow now trying to get a fourth expansion up, but Select trying to get up a fourth expansion. Sjow at 116 food, Select at 147. He's actually still got more forces on the ground, so he's fielding a much larger army right now. If Select wins this game, even though Sjow has his third expo, this hidden expo this entire time, I am going to pull my hair out as a Zerg player, because I just don't see how the Zerg can lose this game. The one thing I would fault him for is not producing enough workers. He's cut off at 45. That is not enough to saturate 3 bases. So, oh, good force fields. Gonna allow the Protoss player mobility, and now I think Select realizes that there is a third. Is he going to move in there to attack? No, he's gonna fall back and deal with the Zerglings that are attacking his fourth. But now here come the Lings, gonna start to attack the probe line and the Nexus. Hydra's here in the wrong position against his Colossi. Good force field, blocking off the Hydralisk from running back, but the Speedlings doing a lot of damage back here, gonna pick off this Colossi. And, oh, I don't know, the Zerg player could lose his entire army. Select, pushing forward, has a very, very powerful Zealot Stalker Colossus Ball at 147 food, and somehow, someway, Sjow is going to lose this game. I can already feel it in my bones. If I could say why he could lose this game, if I had one thing to explain, it's because even though he had 3 bases, never saturated. I never even took a look at this, but look at this. He's only got 43 harvesters. He never really saturated. He tried to play 3 base Zerg without enough saturation to keep it up, and now he's paying the price. Select, even though he played on 2 bases the entire game, he was fully saturated, so pretty much he was dead even with the Zerg. And with better micro, better game sense, even though he's playing off race, I think Select will take this game. He's attacking the natural right now. He's going to take it down. And if I could just press V and look at that, yep, he never even knew that that hatchery was up that entire game. So, man, that is... I gotta say, that's kind of poor play for the Zerg player, not saturating heavily enough. He just never got enough drones, and yeah, he's gonna be forced to GG. GG's out of the game, a bunch of his buildings blowing up there at the same time. But wow, Select taking that game. He never even punished this expansion, never even knew it was there. But I think the Zerg player might have shot himself in his own foot. I think the Zerg might have lost the game. He didn't get beaten by Select, he beat himself by not producing enough drones. And it's not often that I cast games and I kind of, you know, talk about how the other player could have played better, or, you know, point out errors, but this was such a blatant mistake by Sjow, not producing enough workers. And I think that started when Select made a push out, and the Zerg player had enough forces to deal with the ball, but he just cut entire drone production, just kept producing army units, and that's what really ended up hurting him in the long run. Just stopped producing drones altogether. And so Select is going to win this game. Playing off race, we're going to go ahead and move on to game number 2 in this the TL Open number 2. And whoever wins this next game, if it is Select, he will go on to face off against Laylish. And if it is Sjow, then we will be seeing a third game in a best of 3. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this broadcast, and stay tuned for more HD commentaries to come. Thanks a lot, guys. HD signing out.